Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Oh, I'm saying good morning because I'm always used to doing morning videos. So it's good afternoon, my lovely people. And how is everyone today? I hope everyone is fine. Yes, it's a bit damp outside, but thank God we have life. And thank God for His grace and His mercy. This morning, I would love to talk about depression and anxiety because in this lockdown there's been a rise in depression, anxiety, everything you can think of. And this afternoon, this is a subject I can speak about because I've been through it. I have walked that walk of depression. And this afternoon, I just want to go through what I was feeling when I was going through the depression. I'm not going to go into the history of why I went through all of that. I just want to go through all the symptoms I had and everything else. So hold on in there with me. First, when I started suffering from depression and anxiety, I was about 16 and a half. Yeah, 16 and a half. And it went way into my 30s. The symptom I had was, sometimes I feel like cobweb is on your face and you're brushing your face and everything else. I couldn't be bothered to do anything. I didn't have the energy to do anything. I didn't want to talk too much. I didn't want to. It was frightening going out on my own. Even though I had to, it was frightening going out on my own. That was very, very frightening. And the panic attacks, the anxiety, to be suffering from depression and anxiety, both of them together, it is devastating. I can really tell you it is devastating. So what used to happen to me is that the doctor put me on antidepressant. It helps, it does help, but what happened, in the end, I got very addicted to it. I remember one day going out on the road and I forgot my medication, my tablet, and I went into one on the street, a panic attack. My heart was beating, I started to feel sweaty, my palm, it was awful. Someone had to bring me back home, escort me, help me to come back home because it was so bad, so bad. So the tablet does help, but it really makes you dependent on it. So, So another thing that happened to me is that sometimes you may go to someone's house that's suffering from depression and you might see, oh, their house looks a bit cluttered, dirty, whatever. I've been through that. Where I see in my bedroom, I see where I need to clean it. It looking cluttered, it looking like a junkyard. But you want to clean it, but you just can't. When you look around and you see your room need cleaning, there's a pressure on you. There's a heaviness come on you. It's like, no, I can't handle that. I can't handle it. So when you go to someone's house, it's not always that person is a dirty person. They can't keep their house clean. Those who are suffering from depression. They see all of that. They just can't do it. Physically can't do it. I've been through all of that. But the worst experience I had was, at the time I worked at a lawyer office. And I remember that morning, I didn't have much sleep. I know I wasn't feeling up to going to work, but I had to go to work. Went into work and my boss had someone came in with some papers that, he wanted me to type up very quickly, fast. And he was pushing me to hurry up. And I went into one. I went into a panic attack. My heart, and this is the thing. Normally, on a normal basis, you hear you could feel your heart beating in your chest. But when you're suffering from anxiety and you really, really have a bad attack, you start to hear it in your ears. You hear the heartbeat boop, 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 in your ears. Trust me, that is the worst experience. When you hear your heartbeat in your ears, sounding loud, that pushes you over the edge because it won't stop. You won't stop hearing that sound in your ears until you calm yourself down. And it's very difficult. When you get to that peak, it's very difficult for you to calm yourself down. And you hearing that noise in your ears. My boss had to rush me to the doctor because I couldn't calm down. I was jittery. I was crying. They got me to the doctor. And I was in such a state. I was freaking out because of the noise in my ears, my heart beating in my ears. It's driving me crazy. The doctor took one look at me. One look at me. She tried asking me some question. I couldn't answer anything. She took one look at me and said, look, I can't do anything with her. She's so agitated, anxiety, everything. She had to give me an injection to knock me out. That's how bad I was with a panic attack. And this is how people feel when they're going through that. Knocked me out. And she told my relative at the time to take me home. I would sleep it off and bring me back in the morning. And she questioned me all what I'm going through, what I've been going through and everything else. But when you get a panic attack, the feeling, you think you're going to die. You really do. You really, really do. And this is how it is. And with the depression, if you're not getting much sleep, that's the worst thing ever. You're not getting much sleep. You're nervous. You're jittery. You can't sit still. Even in your room, you can't handle it. You don't want to be in your room, but you don't want to go outside either. You fear of going outside. You don't want to talk. Normally you will talk to certain people on a daily basis, but you don't want to talk to anyone. You're keeping yourself in a box, and you cannot help it. You really cannot help it. And that's how it was for me. At a very young age, 16 and a half. It's a lot to carry. It's a lot to keep to yourself. And this is the worst thing you can do. Keep everything to yourself. You got to let people know how you're feeling. You got to know, let people know. You got to let people in. Even though at the time, you don't want to let anyone in. Yes, you do feel ashamed when you relay that to friends and family, that all of what you're feeling. Because you think they're not going to understand. You think that there's no help for you. But this is what is happening to a lot of people now in the lockdown. And people have to understand what they're going through. And family and friends, you need to support them and look out for those signs. The agitation, the jittery, can't sit still, losing their temper, getting angry. All that is in it. And sometimes people say to you, oh, you'll get over it. It's okay. We don't want to hear that. When we're suffering from depression, we don't want to hear that. You'll get over it. At that time, you feel like you're never going to get over it. Never. And when you take the tablet, it really does calm you down. It really do calm you down. But then it leaves you with a heavy head as well. But what I get to realize is that I used to worry a lot. I worry about everything and anything. And I had to realize that I need to stop it. I wanted to find a way to come off of the tablets. How could I come off of it? I thought I could never, ever come off of antidepressant because it calms me down. If I take a tablet, vroom, everything calmed down. But I didn't want to live that way because your head always feel a bit heavy. I didn't want to live that way. So how can I get out of it? How can I feel normal again? And what did I have to do? I had to go back to my God. I had to go back to His Word. The worries that I was doing, come unto me, those who are heavily laden. I had too much burden. My shoulders was giving up. Too much problem, too much things, too much load. I couldn't carry the load. And I had to find a way. How can I do it? How can I get out of this dark hole? Because this is what it feels like. It feels like you're in a dark hole and you cannot get out. I remember someone said, I can never get off of antidepressant, never. But I'm going to share with you how, up to this day, I think it was in my early 30s, 16 and a half to early 30s, that's when I came off of it, antidepressant. How? I went back to the Bible and read God's word. His peace He give to you, not like how this world give it. We have the power, we have the strength. And then little by little, I stopped worrying about everyday things that I don't need to put on my brain. Little by little, every time a problem come along, a situation come along, I give it to God. And little by little, when I took all those problems and worries off of me, throw it at God's feet, this is how I was able to come off of antidepressant, because I was loading up my brain with things that I didn't need to. And this is what we do as human beings, the world we live in. But God tells us how to do it. God tells us every situation we going through, every hurdle, every wall that we come up against, God tells us how to deal with it. It's just that we don't listen, we don't read, we don't believe. And this is what we have to go through when we don't listen, we don't test God. And I got the freedom. I started feeling normal again. And I praise God that since then I've never been on any sort of antidepressant or anything like that. Yes, worries do come. Stress do come. It's the life we live. It's the world we live. But what I do, what I can't do anything about, I give it to God. So I like to say, when you know someone is suffering through depression or anxiety, If you haven't walked in their shoes, if you've never been there, don't speculate, don't assume, don't judge. Sympathize. Sympathize with them. Ask, how can you support them? What can you do? That is how you can help. Don't look at someone and think you know what they're going through. You don't. You don't. Someone might look, they're laughing, they're having fun and everything else, but you don't know behind closed doors what it is that they're hiding. So I thought this morning there was something else I was going to talk about, but then it just came to me. You've been through depression, you've been through anxiety. Share. Share. And this is what I've done. Have sympathy. I'd just like to let you know, as always, like, comment, and share. Have a blessed day and a blessed weekend. Thank you.